Gotta hold it out a little bit. Not quite sure how many people have shown up yet, though. Not quite sure. Right, everything seems good. Streams up. Right. So, hello everyone. Gonna be my first time streaming here. Um, so my name is Wolf, long-time tier 3 analyst, coach, and ultimately wannabe OWL employee, I could say. But anyway, so currently teamless. So just, I guess, time to do some content creation, I guess. And so what would a better way to do that than do some analyst stream where I show people how big brain I am, and hopefully they like me for that. And I have no idea how the chat is going or anyone watching this yet, but anyway, let's go straight to it then. So the topic, the map that we're gonna go over today is between Bleh Guy and LCG. This is the final of this week's Academy Gaming Weekly. Um, if you are curious about the title, the reason why this is called Battle of the Has Been, because both of these teams have a bit of a history in the Overwatch community. Sugar, Ultimate Web, and Ruby, Ninja Nick, all of them have experience playing in pro, particularly Splice and Method. Granted, those both those teams weren't like exactly good to begin with, but they were certainly good enough to get paid. So there's that. Meanwhile, on the other hand, we have Blood Guy, who's composed of ex chicken connoisseurs who used to be a team that compete around tier 3 level as well back in the day, versus team like It's Win, who eventually became Evil Genius. They have Icy, Hazy, Posa, Slayergram, and yeah, those four was the core of Chicken Connoisseurs, and Chicken Connoisseurs also did have DSP Stanky as well. So there's also that. But yes, all of those three are kind of has been a little bit, I would say, a little bit. They certainly are trying to get back up to where they think they should be, which is obviously contenders and ultimately OWL. So, but anyway, without further ado, let's get on to it. So this is gonna be the first map. Gonna be Lijiang Towers, and let's see what both of the team decide to do on here. Alright, so both the teams is probably gonna run a very standard pharmacy dive on Lijiang Garden Tower. Let's see what both teams do. So we okay. So here's the basic of how to play on this map. First, usually what happened here is that both of the tanks are gonna be fighting around this area, which commonly called dildo. Um, both of the tank are gonna probably like, play around this part and going into a bit of a poke war, while their Farah gonna fly around over this area and firing from up top, providing a lot of suppressive fire. Their tracer is probably gonna be either their tracer is probably gonna go to here to try to establish some sort of control over the point, as well as the fact that from here you can shoot suppress the tank and helping with a focus fire as well. Although personally speaking though, like going through the dojo is like a route that a lot of tracer doesn't do for whatever reason, and for me it's a much safer route. But I digress. This is not about my way of playing; it's about how people play. So let's see what both these teams gonna do. So there's a boop. So okay, So right on the spot here, Bleh Guys tank actually is actually doing a quite good job of pushing up beyond the dodo here. In Overwatch, the tank line, even if they are running like mobile tank like Winston and Diva, there's always a very loose line of what considered to be like the front line. Like that's usually the line between the tank of both the team. And in this particular instances, what Bleh Guy did very well is that both of them push up, and they immediately focus on Chrono Dota, and he is getting very low. And also for the fact that from here, I'm not quite sure where Ultimate Web is, because usually like the other tracer should probably like come inside here as well. But it seems like Ultimate Web like doesn't get here quickly, or he was too busy trying to flank from the other from White instead. So it gives Lijiang some opening to come strike in and then help the team burst down the main tank. And also because of the fact that Corona is getting burst down really hard, burst down really hard, as well as getting boot back. So at this point, the spade advantages are gonna be to Bleh Guy, which is very good, because you need space in order for the team to be able to operate well, especially even in this map where if you don't have enough space, you're gonna have to like either back up to bridge, or you might actually even get booped all the way off of the map too, and obviously that's not very good. So Chrono die first. Flop also die as well, but at this point, Bleh Guy had a bit of more advantages, and Ultimate Web die by going a little bit too into the enemy teams. That's probably a miscommunication there somewhere, because what I would assume to be happen is that LCG calling for a quick retreat, back off a little bit, because the point haven't unlocked yet, and they just let the main tank. But also they did boop up the other main tank off as well. So they were maybe trying, and so maybe Ultimate Web was a little bit too fast. So he tried to jump in instead of like maybe take a seconds or two to wait for his team or whatever. So obviously he got punished quite hard there. Right. So now this kind of matters up like a little bit with poking around on the side here. The point haven't unlocked yet though, which means that LCG can certainly come back, and they did. So here we kind of fight around the point. This is a bit of a very weird brawl, because when you're playing pharmacy in this map, you usually want to fight outside more, but with the way like this team with the way it's coming in, the tank up LCG is coming in, it kind of forced Bleh Guy to actually fight on the point. Fight on the point versus other pharmacy is just very monk-ass, because of how close range it is and how easy it is for you to just get shit on by either the other team Sora or by the Diva, or just by straight projectile really. But in here though, this kill is very important, because in this meta, like the tracer is one of the biggest source of DPS. So if you are able to get rid of tracer right away, like that, the enemy team suddenly have lacking so much in firepower. So during this quick engage, they kill the tracer, and they also just kill the diva, which is a very good start. Even though they trade out flop, they trade out flop as well. Blood guy probably gonna be able to take this because they. Right, so the Raz pulls up, and IC scores a couple of 2 frags. So now it's best for LCG. LCG to just reset or die, and they choose to die. That's very good. Oh, and apologizing if I don't respond to any chat just yet. No, just yet anyway. So a little bit about positioning in here. Usually when a team holding this map, usually the tracer should be kind of like holding around on this side a little bit to control like this area of the map, and also that you can act as a sort of like alarm where if the enemy team is go from this side all the way to white, you can suddenly call the team so that they can so that they can rotate properly. In this instant, in this instance, diagram here is a little bit too far forward for my taste. But it seems like his purpose here is trying to like get a draw out into a 1v1 versus ultimate web. So let's see how it goes. Okay. So first, the tank lineup LCG decided to full on commit. There's very full on commit into here. They got a little bit of space to work with. Both team had tank. Okay. So right. So Hazy decided to pull a Diva bomb. And it killed both the DPS. So yeah. At this point, like the team fight is lost. Not quite sure why. Yeah, the team fight already lost, and LCG make the correct choice to just back off and disengage here. Right, so now also here's a little bit on positioning of the Pharah. Ideally, I don't this positioning of Pharah is a little bit too forward for my liking. Like the front line is here, and as pharmacy, you do have like a lot of control over the top once you're able to cap the point that way. So I kind of prefer like the Pharah kind of play a little far back, all the way back to the side up the friendly spawns, and then from there they can just like rain out a lot of suppressing fire over the bridge, which is which will create a lot of like space for the tank to work with, as well as act as deterrent to the enemy scene. Let's see what the LCG decide to do though. Okay, so obviously, all right. So like immediately here, ideally, I see Shep just like trying to hold a little bit far from here and then shoot it from down there. But he was kind of like floating around this side a little bit, and he was too focusing on shooting the people downstairs that he didn't notice that Sugar actually flying all the way up top from this side, and then go over him, and now this is gonna be a little bit of a battle because right now, IC doesn't have the aerial superiority that he needed, and as well as Ultimate Web having a slightly bit of advantages in terms of space. So what I suspect will happen here is that LCG is gonna commit to a push with the sounds barrier, and they're gonna use sounds barrier and maybe a pulse bomb, and maybe a rocket barrage as well, just so that they can able to take the point and try to snowball off some few advantages that they currently have. So let's see how it goes here. Right. So here there's a sounds barrier. They fully commit into the point there. This is very much a brawl here, and obviously Sugar use Ultimate Web uses pulse on the Diva. Sugar used rocket barrage outside, but they also they all but at this point like Bleh Guys having more advantages because A, they are still in control of the point. They only lost their Lucio, and also for the fact that like I don't know who called for all, but like they literally just press everyone literally press Q. It's like there's no alt left, and this is the fight that they gonna lose. Yeah, they now use Raz. Well, not Raz, I guess. Yeah, they now use Raz, but I don't. But they now use Raz, but I don't really agree with this like order of using Raz because you because ideally what I think like they should be doing is that like okay they use sounds barrier first to speed on and try to engage, and then after and then like if and then maybe like they can force and then they can like maybe focus on like one of the support or something, which they kind of did, but they also blew like all of their remaining like offensive out that should be ideally used only after Ruby have rest the rest. So I don't feel like this push has already been like really expensive to begin with because they literally use everything, and in my opinion anyway, I don't think they have like use it well to begin with as well. They should have used try to get the enemy out first, then they use the rest, and then after that they can use the offensive ult. Okay, so IC uses barrage here, kill the diva. Okay, okay, here. That's a little bit of a communication problem there. That Mercy should have never been there at all. All right. Okay, so LCG won that team fight ultimately, but that was won that team fight ultimately, but that was a really expensive team fight. And now for the next team fight, they might be able to they might be able to hold for at least like one or two more team fight. And now Ultimate Web decided to did the same thing that Slayergram did, which again not really my taste, but whatever. It seems like this way is more about trying to force out the 1v1. Like okay, here, that recall in particular, I don't particularly agree with as well. If only if because like if you notice, Blur Guy actually haven't even tried to come in and initiate a team fight yet. And for Tracer to use your cooldown, to use your recall here, which is a very very expensive cooldown because it's like 12 seconds and a lot of things can happen in 12 seconds. That's very bad because if like the team fight happened within like 3 or 4 seconds, the tracers are gonna have to play really conservatively in order to stay alive and actually output DPS. And in the team fight, sometimes you have to play really reckless, especially as a tracer. So one of the key of playing Overwatch is a lot like one of the key to playing Overwatch in terms of like macro. It's not just about like using your ult or timing your ult. Like you have to also consider that all of your cooldown is also your resource as well. During a team fight, it's all about whether or not you use your cooldown efficiently to actually score frag, and how you use your cool and whether or not you have all of those cooldowns up before team fight, which is also another important thing that a lot of people kind of forget. And now Ultimate Web gonna have to back off and play a little more conservatively. Conservatively, he probably gonna try to kind of fight around this side and be a little conservative until his cooldown's up. Okay. So Blood Guy pushing. Yeah, yeah. This okay. Slayergram post bomb Ninja Nick. That's very good. And this is really bad for LCG because if you notice, the diva actually fly away to try to like maybe like evade the outing Winston, but while doing that he actually left his Winston out to dry in here, and the Winston is currently stuck in dojo versus like a bunch of people are there gonna like zeroing him down real quick, and obviously he died. So now they're gonna start a team. Now they're gonna start a team fight 6v2. But Ruby used the res, so they might be able to pull it back. Okay. Yeah, at this point the team fight is really 50-50. Like even though like LCG should really lost the team fight, the fact that Ruby managed the fact that the poking kind of went out for a little bit longer than it should be, and also the last team fight went a little bit longer than it should be as well. Allow Ruby to like have another rest, which is kind of ludicrous when you think about it. Okay, so they. Okay, so this push is also kind of this push in terms of Blood Guy is also kind of bad. They coming in. They only use this. They managed to kill two, and they force Ruby to use his rest, and he had to rest like two. Like that alone is completely okay. Like trading a post bomb for a rest, it's like completely fine. But now that Sugar actually used his rocket barrage as well, I'm not it's like you actually managed to get like at least two important out of like right away. Two of them more powerful as well. And also Mystic also uses out as well. So ideally there should be a really a dry push so that you can actually set up the next push, because you still have at least like two team fight here. But now you have uh, Hazy decided to commit his Diva bomb, and I'm not quite very certain why. It seems to be kind of a knee jerk response in part that maybe the fight is winnable, but it's really not. And I don't know if Blood Guy also called for a dry push before this. I suspect that they call for a dry push and then somebody press Q, because that's how NA Overwatch tend to work with. But now we're back. So next, so Salagram decided to take a plunge. And there it is. Now it's gonna be 80 to 50. You're gonna be able to at least have another team fight now if they are being efficient about it. Okay, Ultimate Web kind of flying around here, control this area as well. Control the area as well. He doesn't see anyone, so he decided to come back up here. And LCG decided to preemptively use Sounds Barrier. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so Calvin used his Sounds Barrier to keep himself alive. While Pulses die. This is gonna be kind of sketch. And Flop also died. Okay, so LC Blood Guy obviously have to reset right away. I like again, like he should again. This is Blood Guy is not showing any good alt management at all, because LCG actually commit Sounds Barrier and monkey out for an aggressive pre-team fight that honestly like they shouldn't have, because there's still plenty of time on the clock. They should have tried to like get Blood Guy to come in and burn down the clock more before they use those kind of, because Sounds Barrier and Monkey Out is more of a reactive kind of alt rather than proactive kind of alt. So and then that team fight, even though they won, realistically they only kill Fluff, they only kill the Mercy that was going to have her ult up anyway, and Calvin, who just pressed Q to leave. So like they only get the Sounds Barrier out, and they still have three more Bleh Guys is gonna have like 1, 2, 3 outs up, while LCG is not gonna have any outs up. Their best chance is maybe a clutch post bomb, or the team fight got long enough that Ruby would be able to build Valkyries up, but it's kind of a sketch anyway. Right, so they decided to poke in here, like you can see here, the front line is kind of here, the Lucio kind of play in front, the Diva and the Winston here, while Sugar playing kind of like far back around this area of the map, firing down pawn, and there's Mr. Tracer over here trying to control this area of the map. This is pretty much kind of textbook how to play Lijiang with Pharmacy. Okay, so they decide to commit into here. Use Diva Mamosai. Okay, obviously they use Valkyrie. Valkyrie's up. Okay, so here's a bit of a weird decision for me as well. So they decided to with this being the last team fight, Posa decided to revive Lucio and Farah, which in this particular situation I don't particularly agree with, because because there's the Diva that is very much restable, I would say, which you need more meat on the ground in order to be able to contest the point, and also that you could also bring back the tracer as well, instead of the Lucio, because the Tracer's DPS is just frankly a little bit better than Farah, especially fighting in this close quarter area like this. But maybe they would be able to bring it back. Let's see. Okay, so COG see the Mercy that out of Valkyrie, decide to jump in. Got really her Posas die now. Ooh, that's not good. Now it's just going to become a part of trickle in. Okay, Flop actually managed to kill the Diva Bomb and actually stay alive for quite long. So what I would suspect is that LCG didn't really focus it enough, and now both team just kind of use out very willy nilly, very well, not willy nilly as much as they are trying to desperately use out both of the team, because this team fight is a must win. And now even like disagree with Posa's choice of rest. Bleh Guy actually somehow still managed to trade good enough that allowed to drag the same fight for quite long. Ruby rest the tank. And FGG. Ooh, 1 health. Yep. Slayagram is doing quite a lot of stuff here though. Okay, and now LCG decided to back off, which is a very good decision, considering that they still have at least one fight to go. But that's not good a decision at all. I don't know why Ninja Nick decided to back out in that corner where he could have just like back out all the way to his team, but I digress. Scenery rest, Sugar die, Icy kind of fallen by himself, not quite sure why either. Yeah, this team fight is gonna be really sketch and really sloppy. Okay, Hazy actually killed 2. Pulses killed that. So Bleh Guy probably gonna be able to win this, if only because LCG kind of botched their engagement there, where they were staggered, and also for the fact that like they were kind of rushing into as well. Okay, and now this is just gonna be a straight up brawl. Ooh. So Bleh Guy take the map. Certainly not the cleanest of map though, because the amount of team fight in this map have been around 3 or 4 team fight, and at least like two of them have been dragged out for like way longer than it should be, to be honest. And now we are going to night market. Hmm. Okay. Right. So this map playing pharmacy on here. There's also usually what a lot of teams do is that they fly around this area, and with both team playing pharmacy, they usually also run this way as well, where it's gonna be the crucial thing here is that who is going to be able to take the space inside this point, because uh, A, it's very dangerous to fight outside of this area where you have Lucio boop, you have the Diva boop, and you have the Far boop. So it's very vital for both these teams to be able to take the space inside this map first. And you can either take the space by either suppressing fire from here down the way there, and then use your tank cooldown to actually like stuff the enemy tanks from those two gates, or you could uh, just hard focus the enemy tank hard enough that once like the diva makes down, or maybe when they use the cooldown, you then use your cooldown and then try to brute force your way in. Either or, and you can also certainly like go coming in front here as well, but it's and might be a little bit safer I would say, but your pharmacy is gonna be a little bit more vulnerable, because if whoever the far gonna be able to play around this area, it's like they only have to worry about this much this much angle. While if you're coming like in front of it here, you have to like worry about your backside as well. So let's see how it goes in here. Okay, so first, both of the team kind of very equal in terms of space here. Both of it are taking like decent amount of space. The other team's far kind of like firing down from here, and IC's point of view, he is firing down from here. Right now though, Ultima Sugar is having better line of sight, and he's going to be able to do his job a little better, because I see like even though like his this angle is pretty good to play, he's gonna have to fire into these three little space. And even though with a splash damage, you wouldn't be able to have as much value as say someone who's literally perched on this window over here and just like free fire, just close your eyes and left click. So let's see how the team fight goes in here. Okay, so right, so LCG DMAC Hazy, which is very good because now the frontline player guy is significantly weakened, and if you also notice as well, Fluff make a really suspect jump in here where he kind of like move over here and then he jump over on this side, while his diva is completely DMAC, and all of the team's backline is kind of gone over here. So his only support here is gonna be the tracer. It's gonna be the tracer. While at the same time, they at the same time LCG is gonna be able to is gonna have the Pharah here, is gonna have the Mercy here, is gonna have like either the Winston or the Diva here, and obviously the Tracer that's probably ram around on this side of the map as well. So unless he and Slayer Graham manage to score a frag now, um they're gonna they are going to lose the team fight because he picked the wrong time to jump and probably the wrong target as well because the wrong target as well, and B LCG did a better job in terms of focus fire. So let's see how it goes in here. So as I suspected, the Tracer and the Winston die. So now this is gonna be a hard reset. And jump to the abyss we go. Alright, so let's try. Okay, so that's probably a little bit hard to make out, but I'll try my best to see if possible. So what LCG is doing here is that they're gonna try to hold around this area where they only have to worry about A, the route from up top, B, the route from the big gate, or rather the big space thing. It's big space thing coming out of here, and also the route coming from this side. So they're gonna try to do a very aggressive defense where the pharmacy would probably flying around up top from here around this side where they could fire suppressing fire on all the three spaces, and also stuffing the advance of the attacking his team right out of the gate. This kind of a more aggressive kind of setup, I would say, and it's certainly workable. But my preference is usually playing around this side a little bit more, if only because A is kind of more passive and there's more defensive option, uh, and B you don't really and B you kind of force the enemy team into like fighting around either this side, or fighting around on in mid where with correct space taking and correct DPS play, you always gonna have 60-40 advantages before the team fight even begin. Okay. So there, Slayogram using cooldown before team fight begun. Not good. Not very good. So let me just go back a little bit. Here's something that I want to point out. Okay. So as you can see here, as you can see, a Bleh Guy decided to take this route outside, which is good. But LCG's pharmacy is doing his best ability to completely stuff this side by just spamming rocket, and also for the fact that like the tank up, LCG is doing their very best job to stuff the enemy team over in here, inside here as well, which mean that Blue Guys are gonna have a very hard time to start an engagement, and also for the fact that Slayagram also use his cooldown as well, so there isn't very much a whole lot that Blue Guy can do here outside of trying to brute force their way into a team fight, which is obviously not an approach that I would favor. And now, okay, so what Blood Guy decides to do is that he send they send the majority of the thing that way, and they have the pharmacy kind of shooting from all the way up to coast. Kind of a really scattered approach to me, to be honest, because split the team into two, and then also like with good team that have the wherewithal to actually look, what they would do is that they would just full on engage inside here, because at this moment in time is a 6v4 in the space. It's like the pharmacy, like the Blood Guy's pharmacy is firing from all the way down coast. It's completely fucking irrelevant as far as they know. Obviously, they can come in and cap on the point, but if they full push on and win on this fight in a strength of a 6v4 with the Slayer Tracer already use his recall, Like they can certainly win it and then literally just come back and recount a point. They would only give up like say 5 or 10, which is barely anything, especially considering that they can get the progress up to like 30 or 40 depending on depending on how quick they kill the enemy teams. Okay, so Shruga decided to come here and web ultimate web, do a really big long flank here. Okay, and now the team fight is kind of devolved inside the point here. Ooh, Ruby jumped right in to grab. Now it's gonna be a 5v6. 5 4 5. Yeah, this at this point it's really at this point with how the team fights go, it's not really about like whose cooldowns better. It's gonna be about which team is gonna have better focus fire because as far as team goes, like both team are at 4v4 situation. Like their mercy just die. Both the Far just die. So now whoever going to win the map is gonna be dependent. Whoever gonna be able to win the team fight is gonna be very much dependent on the tank line and the remaining people. Okay, and it seems like Bleh Guy did a little bit better on that front. May Maybe because LCG was a little bit bamboozled over the approach, and instead of like going into fight where it was a total winnable fight, they decided to retreat back and play on the point more, which is an okay decision, you can all because of that, they actually give the space so that once LCG lost their mercy due to a post bomb, it actually gave Blood Guy a lot of space in order to make the engage, and LCG have to fight on off of the back foot, which obviously didn't have very much. Okay, so now LCG decide to go on coast here. They go on coast here, which is good, which is an okay routed attack to go, but it's a little bit a little bit long than I would have liked, and also for the fact that with Blood Guy having control at this point, like both the tank can just stuff and just a little rotate over here and then just completely stuff the point, just like how LCG did earlier. But with the Diva coming here and the Winston coming here, and the and LCG's Lucio all the way over here, it seems like the call to rotate came in a little bit late, a little bit too late. Okay, so I see okay, so I see lost the Farah. Slagram win a 1v1 duel. Ooh, this is gonna be rough. Both team commit the sound. Both team are okay. Both team are committing the same sounds barrier, and both team also trade a DPS. But right now the advantage is gonna be on Blood Guy because they have controlled the point. So they have controlled the point. So barring this Diva bomb, getting multiple kill, whatever. This the guy is still gonna be at least like be able to get their progress up to like 40 or 50 even. So let's see how it goes. And the post bomb got 2, and I'm not quite sure how either. It seems like Slagram decided got a little bit greedy there and tried to go for post bomb, but the ping act up, I guess. So they actually get the demake out, which is good. And now it's now just gonna be a stall game. They could get into a 50, which is very good as far as progress goes. Could be a little better though. It could be way better though. Like Blur Guy had like very good positional advantages, and the map there and they can start and the team fight was still very much 50-50, so they could easily brought it back, but I guess not. So now sure. So let's see, see over here, you can the tank kind of play around this door over here. Like I said earlier, there's only so many options that the attacker team can usually run, and there's the support there for here, and the tracer is gonna be probably roaming around this side and this side of the map to be able to control where the main team is gonna go. Okay, so what? Okay, so this is particularly smart from LCG. Blood guy decided to commit mercy out into the team fight, and they spit, and with that LCG literally just said fuck it, let's just go back on the point, which is pretty good as far as reaction goes, because them coming back into point and forcing Blood Guy to actually chase them in order to come into the point. Like you can, it's about 5 or 4 second shave off up the Valkyrie that posters are not going to be able to use for very effectiveness at all. So it's coming into here. Yeah, coming into here, like LCG having very much control of the point, they're still very much in advantages, and they still and now they decided to blow that out, which I don't think is a very good idea, considering that they kind drag out the poking phase a lot, and can use the ult during the team fight later. But now this camera is focusing on this curse 1v1 instead. Right, so Chronodotus decided to jump in on Calvin. Chronodoter get killed by Hazy, so now it's gonna be a bit of a tray over here. The Diva Bomb. Okay, so now it's a one of the things LCG tend to do is that they would let their players die and or easy to kill before they rest up right away. It seems to be very much like their kind of MO whenever Valkyrie is up. It's also happened in the last map as well. But the only difference in the last map and this map though is that like neither Mystic or Ninja Nick have or Mystic or Crota have any out left, have any outs, or have used those up first. So they're gonna be a little bit better off in here. There's a res. Ultimate will lose the 1v1 to Slayer Grant. No, win the 1v1. So now LCG is gonna be able. Yeah, LCG will be able to win this team fight here, and they're gonna be able to cap the point as well. If only because their ultimate timing is better than Blood Guy. I wonder if anyone's in chat though. Lol. Alright, so that's the next map down. Let's move on to here. Oh boy, the Curse Junkrat maps. Gonna be lots of RNG involved. Alright, so okay, so usually what you want to achieve in this map and setup is again to be able to take like as much space as you can possibly, and put a lot of and being able to put a lot of pressure into the enemy's team before they get and break their shield ideally before they break yours. So both team are running very similar setup. They decided to run Junkrat, which gonna be allow a lot of frontal damage, frontal pressure, and then they decided to elect to run Tracer so that they can have somebody who can mop up those frontal pressure. Uh, but preferably I don't really like playing Tracer into this, because if only for the fact that uh, the Tracer can easily get killed by the Junkrat, and also going Tracer 1v1 is very cancer. It just tie up unnecessarily DPS that could have been using for, maybe, I don't know, shooting at the support, or shooting at the tank. But that's so I would much rather see like either team here go hit scan, which is either 76 or McCree, because it allow a little bit more well-roundedness in terms of well-roundedness and consistency in terms of DPS, and also for the fact that it just works a little bit better. Yeah, let's see how it goes. Right, so usually what teams in NA, at least in NA, what they would do here is that they would just go up right into white over here. Right into white over here. Both team kind of like pressuring. Is gonna try to take as much space that they can possible in this area. Okay, so LCG actually managed to push in quite far and took a lot of space over here, while the took a lot of space over here. And notice that LCG actually have a Lucio that allowed them to speed boost in and take like quite as much of space over here, which is good. They gonna be able to have a bit of advantages before the actual team fight start. And would you look at that? Somebody already killed. Yep, Pulses died to a flanking tracer on the back, and now LCG is gonna push the space in, try to push up Bleh Guy. Well, Bleh Guy gonna have to wait until the support came back, and LCG is gonna be able to take the space. Okay, all right. Okay, let me just let them finish this 1v1 first. Okay, um, one uh one of the things about Tracer that is very valuable in this particular meta is the ability for her to control the maps. Usually, what's probably gonna happen here is that LCG is gonna be playing around this kind of chokes, where the Mercy gonna be safely positioned at the back with the Lucio. The Zarya and the Reinhardt gonna act at the front line, while the Junkrat's gonna output a lot of spam, as well as maybe put a trap in between the team. But the tracers, the tracer in this team, what good tracer would do is that it would try to ram around on this area of the map, around the white and black area. Like this is white, and the inside of the room, like all the way in over there, is called black. Uh, the reasoning is that like now with LCG having like control of the point, um, having control of the point, allow having control of the point. The crucial thing here is the ability to respond to where the enemy team's gonna go. Usually, the enemy teams can only go to here, or go to here, or go from there. And with these two routes, the defending team can just certainly like just rotate here, because it's very easy to see. But if the enemy team are going all the way here, they gonna need to be able to have somebody to just to scout first, as well as to alert the team whether or not where the enemy is coming in. And obviously, if, another thing that the tracers do is also just merely shut down the other tracer, really, because if the other tracer and your tracers are tied up in the very prolonged 1v1, and you are the one that having control of the point, it means that you are able to burn down the clock quite hard, as well as being able to take out one of their valuable DPS out of the team fight, and forcing them to use resources before team fight is commenced, which obviously very good. Okay, let me just pause so somebody just ping me on the Discord. Actually, never mind. Let's get back to this. Okay. Like, see, like Ultimate Web is trying to look for space over here. Okay. Okay. Here's something. Here's something too. Okay. Actually, let me just back up a little bit. All right. So if you notice here, they are trying. Well, what they are trying to do here is they're having a Reinhardt here, and the Zarya putting a lot of pressure in the front on this side of the map, and on this side, they have the Junkrat there where he would just like kind of like spam shot from outside of the angle where the Reinhardt can't easily shield, and Ultima will just kind of ram around the side. But this setup is very good because um, now the attacking team not only have to worry about this angle, they're gonna have to be worry about this angle as well. So there's two angles for them to worry about, and also for the fact that with this setup, the defender team are able to apply multiple pressure from multiple angles, and for the attacker teams, like they're gonna have they're gonna have two choices here. Either they're gonna just go straight into the point, which is not an approach I particularly agree with because they're gonna get like getting spammed to shit, or or they're gonna have to push inside here to be able to clear that space first before they clear the space first before they can actually making a meaningful engages uh, inside the point. And the columns here, the columns here actually helps a lot if you decide to go this side because it acts as a sort of like covers where the attacker team can go to safely without eating spam from the Zarya and the Reinhardt. So let's for here. And if you notice, Rogue also put a trap in here, there as well. So just in case that if the enemy team decides to go that way, then and the trap got broken. Never mind. Okay, so they decided to go full on frontal in. Uh, they decided to full on frontal in with an engage that I couldn't really see because fuck more out. So for now, Slagram kill Ruby and Fluff managed to get a kill into their Junkrat, which is very good. Now it's gonna be a 2v1, and now a 2v2, but they have the Mercy up, so Bleh Guy might be able to win this. Ooh, that graph. Okay, never mind. Okay, so that team fight. Bleh Guy could have won off of the fact that they killed the support and the main sub DPS first, but LCG commit the Sound Spirit and commit the Zarya commit the Zarya, which was a decent price to pay in order to get the to stay control the point, and also Ultimate Web use use his post bomb to kill Flub as well, which kind of make the team fight a little more expensive than it should be, but yeah. And yes, junk skill by the way. Okay, now they're gonna be able to defend from this point. They're still gonna hold a little bit back. Mystic kill Slayergrams, which mean okay here. Oh shit, never mind. Okay, here's another thing that I don't think many people actually notice, but here's a trick. Okay, let me just get back up to where team fight is gonna be. Okay, so if you notice here, Slyram died because he was overzealous with his flank, and it took it's for the game. It took about 10 seconds for someone to die and then respawn back. Now, if somebody who can keep the time, they can easily add another 10 into like the in-game clock, and they would be able to work out what time will the enemy engage. Well, it might sound a little bit rocket science-y, but for example, in this situation, if I were like say Ruby or Ninja Nate, what I would look up and say, okay, 45 here, which means the enemy team can only push with 6, so that means that they probably gonna be able to push around 50 to 55, and yeah, and that would 50 to 55. So that would give the team a bit of heads up in terms of when the next team fight is gonna be start, and also how much progress would we be able to make after of this at least. And also for the fact that it would give like the team quite a bit of leeway in terms of planning like what they want to do in space of time. Okay. So now they 50, 51, 52, 53. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, like around 55, 55. Like both the team tank are kind of like are kind of in the right place already. Even though it's not really like Blood Guy just literally coming in because LCG kind of decided to meet them by themselves. But yeah, ooh, that Earth Shatter was unlucky. He decided to Earth Shatter there. Ooh, that's rough. They decided to commit an Earth Shatters and commit Riptire, and both of them got nothing. So right off the bat, like the team fight is already going very badly for Blood Guy. At least in terms of ult anyway, because they just literally like waste two of the best ult in the game as of this moment in time. So they still gonna have Valkyrie though, and they decided to commit the Valkyrie. But also you can also commit the Valkyrie by themselves. So this team fight, is gonna be the advantage is gonna be in LCG just simply because they are not the one who use the ult that willy nilly, and also for the fact that they still have a Valkyrie in reserve, and the Earthshadow got nothing. And now the graph. Okay. Okay, so LCG decided to use three. Yeah, Blood Guy is gonna be able to win off of that, but that could have been gotten like quite a lot worse. It seems like what happened is that even though Blood Guy fucked up on the alt economy, the alt economy, Hazy was managed to get a really good graph in, able to like kill 3 person, and also for the fact they were just like, okay, we fucked up with our, let's just go with it, and they just simply just overwhelm LCG, despite that they fuck up their alt a little bit. Okay, here's the part that kind of bugged me a little bit. Okay, you have Blood Guy coming in here. They decided to kind of play a little more aggressive defense on this side, which is completely okay as far as defense goes. And you have IC here die. And if you like, okay, like here, this is where we die. He died. His right hand was like way over there. His tank line was like essentially like over there, and he was behind the tank, and he died. Yo, what's up, Victor? How you doing? But yes, the front line was like way over in front there, and somehow the chung rat all the way in the back died. And you know why he died? First, ate uh he ate a flame strike from Chronodota, and then after that, Sugar just literally throw a concussion grenade from all the way over there, all the way over here, and get icy. And I'm just like, what? Like whenever there's chunk rat involved in this kind of crap, is sometimes it's just very much all boiled down to RNG instead of actual skill. Okay, and now this part is gonna, and now they have some pressure from Ottawa map back as well. So let's see. Oh fuck! I did that again. Okay. Okay, let's just watch this a little bit. Okay, now they come back. Okay, this is another fucked up here. This is another fucked up over here from the Mercy because the tracer was coming around from this all the way side of the map, but instead of like trying to back up all the way back this route, just like the rest of the team, the Mercy decided to coming on this side, and he is going to run strike into the tracers, and he probably gonna die here. And he died, obviously. So now this is gonna be a very easy winning team fight for LCG. Okay, Slayagram is doing his best carry, and IC also scored a frag here as well. But on the web also kill. So yeah, at this point, it's very much about stall. It's very much about stalling. Gavin the cat run died to a Junkrat bomb as well. Yep, LCG is gonna be able to win this. Yep, yeah. At this point, everything Blood Guy is doing is just like trying to stall as much as he can, but it's not gonna possible. Not when LCG is popping both the defensive out and Blood Guy having to desperately press Q in order to even have a chance of contesting. Yep, there it is. Rip. All right, that's the map. That's the Lijiang map between Blood Guy and LCG. I would probably try to do. I would try to do like the next map, which is Route 66. But I think, but for now, I think we can stop on this battle right here, and maybe tomorrow I could do a stream on one of the recent owl map. But anyway, thanks for hanging by, and I'll see everyone.